Okay, good morning. Today we are going to review for that Unit D test. And so I will email and double check and make sure that you're able to start signing up for that. It should be a pretty easy test, I think. So to give you a quick overview, skills that you're going to be responsible to know. You are going to be responsible to know, if you have a figure, how to find the perimeter. And so hence why it's on the review. Other skills you're going to be responsible to know is how to add and subtract functions. And so we spent a day on how to add and subtract polynomials. It is very, very similar. We'll talk about that. You must know how to divide. Some polynomials like this one, you can use synthetic. Some polynomials like this one, you have to pretty much use long division. And so you have to know how to do both long and synthetic. You have to know what it means to be a factor of a polynomial. And remember, to see if something's a factor, all you do is you divide it, and if you get 0, then it is a factor. And if you don't get 0 as a remainder, it's not a factor. So these are actually pretty easy, and you need to be able to explain that. And then long division. Okay, and so those, to my knowledge, are the only skills that you need to know. So let's go through this real fast, or as fast as we can, I guess. So in some of these problems you've seen before, I did that on purpose. Should get the same answer as before. So a town council plans to build a parking lot. They wanted to make the parking lot look like this. Write an expression for the perimeter. Okay, and so there's many different ways. I'm just going to show you the easiest way. Okay, if this is 2x minus 5, then this must also be 2x minus 5. They're the same length. If you take this piece plus this piece, you get this piece. So if I'm doing the perimeter, I need to take 2x minus 5 twice. I think that would be the easiest way. Then you have the length, 2x plus 15. Well, if this is 2x plus 15, then so is this. So you're going to add on 2x plus 15 twice. So if you can see, I've covered all my bases. There's nothing left to outline. Essentially, if you were to take this piece right here, you can move it here, and it makes a big rectangle. Okay, so the perimeter does not change. The area would be different. Now, if I add those together, 30 minus 10 is 20, and then 2, 2, 2, 2 would be 8. So you have 8x plus 20. So that would be the perimeter. So not too bad. Okay, so this problem, you're holding a ball at a height of 3 feet above the floor, and then I'm not going to worry about too much with like the velocity and stuff, but you toss the ball upward at a velocity of 24 feet per second. The height, we'll call it h of t, of the ball thrown from 3 feet in the air on different planets in the universe are given below after t seconds. I want you to notice that they all have +3. And the reason why they all have +3 is because you started 3 feet in the air. Okay, the ball was not on the ground. The ball was 3 feet above ground. So you can see that in the function. Also, they all have 24. That comes from the velocity, which you're not going to have to worry about on the district test. And then the number in front, that's the gravity. It's different on every planet. Okay. So if you toss a ball in the air on some planets, it's going to go higher than other planets because of gravity. So what would be the total height function on Mercury and Pluto? So then I would go, here's Mercury. And then where's Pluto? Pluto's the last one. And they want the total height. So to find the total height, I'm going to grab a calculator here. I'm going to add, and it's kind of hard to see, negative 5.92 plus negative 0.064. So all I did for the total height function, is I'm just going to add negative 5.92 plus negative 0.64, and I already typed it in wrong, I see. That's negative 6.56 t squared. And then I'm going to take my 24 plus my 24, that's 48t. And then my 3 plus my 3, that's 6. And you might call this function like t of t, and that would just mean the total height. Okay, so you could kind of name this function what you want, unless they tell you how to name it. All right, what would be the difference in the height between the height of the ball on Earth versus Mars? Well, here's Earth. Here's Mars. Keyword difference. So they want me to take Earth minus Mars. All right, so a lot of it's easy, but let's see, that's negative. So it's going to be negative 16 minus negative 6.08. So that ends up being a plus. So negative 16 plus 6.08 is negative 9.92. So I would say the difference will be that minus that, which is negative 9.92 t squared. And then if you take 24t minus 24t, that's 0. 3 minus 3, that's 0. So this is all we're going to have left. And then finally, what was the difference between the initial height of the ball on Earth versus Mars? Well, on Earth, initial started at 3 feet. Mars started at 3 feet. So what's the difference? 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, so all this really is testing is, do you know how to look at functions and see that the word total means add, the word difference means subtract. Okay, so I don't think those are too bad. All right, let's do some division. If I see something like this, I am 100% going to use synthetic. So synthetic, I make my little box here. And then I see that this is 12x to the 4th. I need 5 spots. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then there's a spot here. Now what goes there, remember it's what makes this 0. So what minus 2 is 0? That'd be 2. You then copy down the coefficients. So we'll start off with x to the fourth. X to the fourth is 12. And then you go x to the third. There is no x to the third, so you put a 0. And then you go x squared, so 4, 3, 2. X squared is -5. And then you go to the x term. There isn't one, so you put a 0. And then your constant. So notice I was missing 2 terms. You must have that 0. From there, you bring down your 12. You multiply. 2 times 12 is 24. You add. 0 plus 24 is 24. 2 times 24 goes here. That's 48. You add. -5 plus 48 is 43. You multiply. That'd be 86. You add. And then you multiply. And that'd be 172. Add those, you get 169. All right. Now from there, you keep in mind that if you started with x to the fourth and you divide out 1x, this is going to drop down to x cubed. So then you would write down 12x cubed plus 24x squared plus 43x plus 86 plus 169 over your divisor, which was x minus 2. Okay, so I personally think that synthetic division isn't too bad. Just make sure you change the sign and you follow the process. A problem like this, technically you could use synthetic. I think it's easier just to not work in fractions. And so remember, you have, this is your divisor. This is what you're dividing into, your dividend. And so we make our little divide by symbol. Third power, I should have 4 terms. I have 1, 2, 3 terms. I am missing 1 term. The term I'm missing is the n term. So I'm going to put a plus 0n in here. So this is going to be 6n cubed plus 10n squared plus 0n minus 3. And then here, 6n plus 10. I know it's tempting. Long division is kind of a pain. I mean, it has the word long in its name, but to be successful on this district test, you have to know how to use long division. So make sure you take the time to know how to do that. Okay, from here, I look at 6n and 6n cubed. I'll circle it so I can remember. And I ask myself, 6n times what is 6n cubed? I would need 6n squared. I then take 6n squared times 6n, 6n squared times 10. I put it here. I subtract it and see what I have left. So 6n squared times 6n, and I just messed up, I see, because 6 times 6 is 36. So let's get rid of this 6. That would have been bad. So 6n times n squared is 6n cubed. That also makes this easier. Now we're not multiplying by 6. So n squared times 6n is 6n cubed. N squared times 10 is 10n squared. I take that away. These go away. Those go away. That usually doesn't happen. Nice. Okay, so let's bring down my next term. Usually there's something left over here. 6n times what is 0n? Well, I haven't seen a problem like this in a long time. Because this is 0n and there wasn't anything left over, we're not going to use this one either. So let's bring down the -3. Usually there's something. Where did I mess up? 0. Well, oh, okay, I see. And then 6n times what is -3. There's not going to be anything. And so this one's a really weird problem. Probably not the best example, but this is going to be our remainder. So I would have n squared and then plus -3 over 6n plus 10. Okay. And if you think about it, 6n times n squared is 6n cubed. 10 times n squared is 10n squared. And then you have a -3 left over. So that's all that's happening. That one was not a good example. All right, let's determine whether this binomial is a factor of this. Okay. So just to save time, let's do the first one. I am going to use synthetic. And I notice it's to the third power. I have 4 terms. I copy down those coefficients. 1, 3, -10, -24. 3, 4, and to the third power. And then I'm going to put here, and if I wanted to, I could go ahead and, because I mean, we're going to use the same polynomial each time. So let me go ahead and fill this in for each of them. And then this one. And then this one. Now what's going to be different is what goes here. And so for x plus 4, we're going to put a -4. For x minus 3, we're going to put a 3. For x plus 6, we're going to put -6. And for x plus 2, we're going to put -2. From there, this is the easy part. Drop down the 1, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply. I got a remainder of 0. So if the remainder is 0, then it is a factor. So you would say, yes, x plus 4 is a factor. And if they ask you to explain why, you say, because the remainder is 0. Here, let's do it real fast. Drop down my 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Add. 6 times 3, multiply. Add. 3 times 8, 24. Add 0. So again, I got 0 as a remainder. So I'm going to say, yes, x plus 3 is a factor. And if they ask why, it's the same reason, okay? Here, again, I'm seeing if x plus 6 is a factor. So I bring down my 1. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. I add. I multiply. I add. I multiply. Be negative 72. That's my remainder. I did not get 0, so I would say no. X plus 6 is not a factor. And if they ask you why? Because there is a remainder. And then finally, I feel like 4 examples was too many. Hopefully at the end you're able to know that how to find if something's a factor. So we'll do this one real fast. Bring down the 1, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply. I get 0, so I would say yes. Okay, so that's how you know if something's a factor or not. All right. One more example of long division. So notice it's to the 4th power. We should have 5 terms. We only have 4, so we must put in a 0x squared. From there, I say x squared times what is 8x to the 4th? That'd be 8x squared. Which technically I should put in this column. I forgot. It's not that big of a deal. 8x squared times x squared is 8x to the 4th. 8x squared times minus 2x is negative 16x cubed. And 8x squared times negative 1, negative 8x squared. Now, as a reminder, you cannot use synthetic division on something like this. There's no way. Okay, I take it away. See what I get. 8 minus 8, 0. Negative 3 minus negative 16. That'd be negative 3 plus 16. That's 13. 0 minus negative 8 is the same thing as 0 plus 8, which is 8. Bring down your next term. And then I ask myself, x squared times what is 13x cubed? Well, that would be 13x. I then take 13x times all 3 terms and I put it here. 13x times x squared is 13x cubed. 13x times negative 2x is negative 26x squared. And 13x times negative 1 is negative 13x. I subtract that off. And what some people do is when they subtract, they just go in and change all the signs and then they add. Feel free to do that. I used to show that way, but then it got really confusing. 13 minus 13, 0. This turns into a plus, so it'd be 8 plus 26, which is 34 x squared. And then this is going to change that to a plus, so that's 5 plus 13, that's 20. And then bring down my last term. And now I ask myself, x squared times what is 34x squared? That'd be 34, just 34. Uh-oh, got a chat. Did I mess up? Would 5 plus 13 be 18? Absolutely. That's why I love having you guys on here. 5 plus 13 is 18. Thank you. So that's an 18, kind of hard to see. All right, at least I know some of you are paying attention. So where was it? Oh, this was going to be 34. Already did that. Okay, 34 times x squared, 34x squared. 34 times negative 2 is negative 68. 34 times negative 1. Take that away. That changes that to a minus. Those go away. Changes that to a plus. 68 plus 18. 86. And then this changes that to a plus. 1 plus 34 is plus 35. That's my remainder. So then I would say plus 86x plus 35 over x squared minus 2x minus 1. Now when you're doing these, and as you can see, I almost fell for it. It's really easy to make a mistake. So I highly, highly, highly encourage, especially on a test that you don't really have a time constraint, that you go back through and check your work. Or maybe you, if it's multiple choice and this isn't an option, you messed up somewhere. So like I almost messed up. I mean, I would have had an extra 2 here. I would have had 88x. And so then mine would have said 88x. And then I would be like, no, where's 88x at? So, you know, it's always a good idea to check your work. One final example. It won't take long. This is another function problem. And again, I'm just trying my best to help you guys be successful. So since the year 2002, that's the year I graduated high school, these are the numbers of cats and dogs who attended and graduated high school. Obviously, this is a made-up word problem. So where T is the number of years since 2002. So I've been keeping track of cats and dogs graduating college, or actually high school. Graduating college, that's absurd. Absurd. You can't graduate college. High school, that's easy. So in 2002, how many more cats graduated high school than dogs? Well, 2002 is when I first started collecting the data. And so in 2002, time was 0. So you're going to plug 0 in here and you're going to get 8. So 8 cats. And then in 2002, because T is the number of years since 2002. So if you're talking about 2002, that's year 0. And so dogs, you plug 0 in, you only get 4. So really all this is asking is what's 8 minus 4? And you get 4. So 4 more cats and dogs graduated high school. So cats must be smarter, I guess. Now, what would be the difference in the number of cats graduating high school versus the number of dogs in any given year? A keyword difference. So they want me to subtract these. So they want me to take 0.04 t cubed minus 0.56 t squared plus 100 t, 100, plus 8. And they want me to take away, so that's the cat function. They want me to take away the dog function. Okay, so all I did was do cats minus dogs because they said what's the difference in cats versus dogs. From here, I could just copy that part down again. Remember, when you're subtracting, you distribute the minus, so it negates everything. That's going to go negative, positive, positive, negative. So I'll do that real fast. From there, combine like terms. So like terms would be this one and this one. So if I take 0.04 minus 0.2, I get negative 0.16 t cubed. And then if I take negative 0.56 t squared and I put that with my plus 0.21 t squared, negative 0.56 plus 0.21 is negative 0.35. And then I take my 100t and my 4t, 104t, and then my 8 minus my 4 would be 4. So that would be the difference. And then finally, what would be the total number of cats and dogs graduating high school in any given year? I'm going to add these. And just for sake of time, I'm not going to rewrite this, but I'm just essentially going to add those two functions. So I'm going to take 0.04 plus 0.2. Oh, silly. I don't know why I typed that in. That's 0.24 t cubed. And then negative 0.56 plus negative 0.21. Again, I can do that in my head. I don't know why I'm typing any of this in. That's negative 0.77 t squared. And then 100 plus negative 4, that's 96. 8 plus 4, that's 12. So in other words, in 2002, there were 12 total cats and dogs that graduated high school, which makes sense, 8 plus 4. If I wanted to find how many cats and dogs graduated high school in 2003, that'd be 1 year later, I would plug 1 in for t. And if we did that real fast, 0.24 times 1 to the third minus 0.77 times 1 squared plus 96 times 1 plus 12. I get 107, which obviously this is a made up word problem. Anyway, that is the review. I'm going to make sure that I have that link updated for assessment so you can start scheduling that. But that is your review. I hope you're prepared for the test and hope you have a good day. All right, bye-bye.